without having to build one. They do it all. Cybersecurity, computer support, backups, email hostings, even help your internet run smoother. Whether you've got no IT team or just need backup for your crew, Fuse.cloud has your back. 24/7 support. Local team, no nonsense. Fuse.cloud. Fuse.cloud. Fuse. Fuse.cloud will take care of your IT. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Out of bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, game day again. I was on a plane yesterday flying back from Las Vegas, and so I watched a lot of MLB postseason baseball all the way through the day and even wrapping it up with the Blue Jays and Yankees on my last flight into Jackson last night. So that's I forget how damn good MLB postseason playoffs are. So that was kind of fun to do. It gave me something to do because y'all know me. I need to be moving around, ADD. Sitting on a plane is not ideal for me. Our next guest is Ed Werder, Cowboys NFL insider. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Show is driven by your next GMC Sierra truck at Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon. Ed Werder, Cowboys were down 4 offensive linemen, and CD's still not playing. And while the Jets are awful on offense, they're at least pretty good on defense, and they played really well. Were you surprised that they were able to execute at the level they were with all the guys that they had out, Ed?
Yeah, no question. That's the kind of game that the Cowboys in previous years and under different coaching staffs would have lost. And to go in there and score 37 points on the road under those circumstances, down 4 of your 5 starting offensive linemen, down 2 of your top 3 receivers, and going against what is traditionally a very good defense. And he had a bad defense on his side, right? I mean, the Cowboys have the worst defense in the NFL. So under all those circumstances, to go in there and get yourself, the biggest lead in the game you've had at 27 points in 2 years, and then really control the game from start to finish was a huge accomplishment. And a lot of it was Dak Prescott. You know, he had another amazing game with 4 touchdown passes. He was only sacked 1 time, and that was, by his own choice in the fourth quarter when he slid down at the line of scrimmage trying to run the clock out on the Jets. The Cowboys are 2-2-1. They've beaten the Giants and the Jets, 2 of the worst teams in football. They go to Carolina this week, need to win that game before they get into the real teeth of their schedule. But, yeah, I was impressed with the game plan that Brian Schottenheimer put together, the mentality that he created, and the confidence with which they executed, really on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it was a good performance. This week, Ed, kind of sets up somewhat like last. Now, I know the Panthers have won 2 games. And as you've covered this league forever, just about any weekend anybody can win, which is why the league is so much fun to watch. But I kind of get the sense last week could have been that, but that this week they could be walking into a little bit of a buzzsaw too. How do you see it?
Well, they've played Carolina pretty regularly, and they've won, the regular season games at Carolina. And Carolina, to me, seems like another team like the Jets with Justin Fields, in that Bryce Young doesn't seem like the kind of passer who can take advantage of the Cowboys' obvious weaknesses in coverage. He is a mobile quarterback, and he can, if you don't control him in the pocket, he can definitely hurt you with his mobility, much like, Jalen Hurts did. But the Cowboys contain Justin Fields. Justin Fields is one of 3 quarterbacks in NFL history to have 1,000 yards as a rusher. He had a season-low 26 yards last week against the Cowboys, and that was fewer than Dak Prescott had at age 32. So I think the defense maybe has some things to build on. Obviously, they're playing their former running back, Rico Dowdle. It's pretty insulting when you have to, accept challenges from a guy who really hasn't ever accomplished much as a starting running back in the NFL, but did hit the Dolphins defense for 206 yards last week. So this will be, I think, a test of the Cowboys' run defense. And then I expect the Cowboys to be able to score, not at will, but I'll be surprised if they don't score 30 against the Panthers. And that's a number that's hard for Bryce Young to reach.
All right, so help me out here. Where do I go? I still don't think they're good. But the offense with Dak and Shoddy looks good, even with all the disruptions injury-wise that you just laid out. On the defensive side of the football, maybe they're playing better, but it's also, like you said, some of their opponent. So this is still a middle, because of the defense and some of the question marks and injuries, this is still a middle of the road team in the NFL, Ed?
I mean, that's what they seem to be, and I think there have been 6 teams in NFL history or since 1990, that have started 2-2-1, and none of them have made the playoffs. So the Cowboys are up against that, and they do have it. And once they get through Carolina, they play Washington at home, and then they play at Denver, and then they play 2 more Monday night games after that, and then they really hit some real challenges in the schedule. Maybe the hardest schedule in the NFL from Thanksgiving on, where they're playing the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Lions. I mean, it's going to be rough. And are they a team that can embrace playing against that level of competition and succeed? We've seen no real evidence of that. But I do think that Brian Schottenheimer, while he was the only internal promotion among the 7 new head coaches this year, he obviously knows Dak. He has a relationship with Dak. I think Dak has really embraced Schottenheimer's game plans, his play calling, and an aggressive style. They've built a running game that is a nice complementary piece for Dak, so he doesn't have so much pressure on him. So the defense really just needs to be average. Can they be that? Given where they've started, it's hard to imagine. But they pretty much got the personnel that they're going to have.
Right.
It's as good as it's going to get, with the exception of DeMarvion Overshown, the dynamic linebacker, who will come back sometime around Thanksgiving, maybe a little before that. But yeah, I don't dismiss what they did, given the state of their personnel and going on the road last week against the Giants. But you just have to win these games that you're supposed to win. I mean, you're right. Especially when you're at the level of the Cowboys, you can lose to anyone. We just saw the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles both lose at home last week. Lose their undefeated status. So this is a team, though, that has seemed to be dialed in every week. So let's see what they can do. This is a big game for them to get over 500 because, like we said, they've got an ominous schedule ahead of them.
Golly, Ed Werder, Cowboys NFL insider. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Cowboys-Panthers this weekend, and they need to get a dub because it gets tough going forward. I know I ask you this every week, but this is a team that they play twice and in the same division and has tremendous amount of success the last 25 years under Andy Reid and I guess a little bit of Peterson and Sirianni. What do you make of the Eagles? Because I read these articles like A.J. Brown's upset, and this, and Jalen Hurts, they still win. They lost last weekend.
Yeah.
How do you? What are they? Are they just so damn good in the line of scrimmage, so well run between Roseman and Sirianni that they can kind of trip all over themselves for 70% of the game and win most of the time? How do you see it, Ed?
Well, yeah, you're right that they had that bad loss at home last week to Denver when they had a big lead going into the fourth quarter. And they've won 20 out of their last 22 games, coming off a Super Bowl win. They've dominated in every phase at some point this season, even on special teams where they've been blocked 3 kicks in 2 weeks. But their offense just looks kind of dysfunctional to me. Like they haven't been able to create an offensive identity. They're 30th in the NFL in scoring. We've got, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley are meeting, apart from the rest of the team, trying to sort things out, figure out some solutions, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But this is a team that has, bounced back from losses better than any team except the Lions. They're 3-0 coming off a loss since the beginning of last year. They're playing a Giants team tonight that they've owned. They're 10-1 on Thursday nights, which is the best record in the NFL, and the Giants are 0-10 on Thursday nights. only winless team in the NFL on Thursday nights. So this should be a game that they dominate. It's kind of a get right moment for them. But the way they've used Saquon Barkley, I mean, he's had the biggest disparity from average number of rushing yards per game 1 year to this year. And A.J. Brown hasn't been, getting open. Like, Hurts has had to throw into a lot of tight windows when he's thrown, and they've not had the success offensively that we're used to. Maybe it has something to do with Kellen Moore leaving as the offensive coordinator for the Saints head coaching job, where he won his first game last week.
Good point.
Sirianni was the offensive play caller earlier in his head coaching career, and he lost that responsibility. The organization took that away from him and forced him to hire new coordinators on both sides of the ball. And Kevin Patullo, who's doing it now, has never been that before. So they expected some continuity and carryover since he was already on the staff, but it doesn't seem like they know what they're doing on offense or who they want to be.
Yeah, but yet it's like not quite like Kansas City, but not last year, but the 2 years prior to that when KC won. Mahomes had some of his worst stretches playing QB of his career, but Spagnuolo and Chris Jones and that damn D were and just Reed's brilliance were able to keep them in the hunt, and then they would win with 2 or 3 minutes left. And I don't know if the Eagles are there, but there maybe are some similarity. And I'm not comparing Hurts to Mahomes, but I think you know where I'm going. So, all right.
Yeah, it's just weird that because they have they've invested the most money in the league on this offense, and they've got, proven superstar players on all the perimeter, all the, positions that touch the ball. Their offensive line, has typically been very dominant. We haven't really seen that this year, especially the interior offensive line, and they've, been without Landon Dickerson and will be tonight. And they have the best right tackle in football in Lane Johnson, and he's missed some time with injuries 2 of the last 3 weeks. So maybe that's been, a focal point of some of their problems too, is the offensive line has not had the kind of stability and been the dominant force that we're used to seeing.
Recognized by the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Ed Werder on the Out of Bounds show, brought to you by Ice Cold Stella Artois and Wings. That is a winning combo for game day tonight. Okay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Ed. I mean, this is a hell of a story. And they're playing really well. Baker gets out of Cleveland, bounces around a little, and he gets a home in Tampa Bay. Again, another well-run, adult-driven organization like the Eagles and so on. What do you make of the Bucs? Are they your number one in the power rankings, or at least I got to be in your top 2 or 3 NFC?
Yeah, I mean, I think Baker Mayfield's one of the great stories in the NFL, along with his former Carolina Panthers teammate Sam Darnold. Both,
yes,
very high draft picks, 1 and 3 in the same draft, and they both, endured a lot of disappointment and failure. And I think the success they've had just shows you the importance of even these high-level players getting into the right system, getting, the right coaching, having the right systems built around them from a talent point of view. But, yeah, I mean, the Bucs have cut it close, right? All 4 of their wins are by a combined 9 points, and all have come on a score in the final minute of regulation. And so Baker Mayfield's thrown for almost 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's run for 144 yards and 3 touchdowns. Against Seattle, was as accurate as any quarterback we've seen, completing 9 of his 12 throws down the field, 10 or more yards. So, they're playing somewhat shorthanded too. They haven't had Mike Evans for a while. Chris Godwin just came back. Ibuka obviously has been incredible as a rookie, looking like, one of the elite receivers in the NFL already. So, yeah, I like Tampa Bay. They play in a relatively soft division. They've dominated that division.
Good point.
In recent years. So, yeah, I think Tampa Bay will have a chance. If they can play some home games in the postseason, we'll have a chance to contend for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, sunny Florida instead of going up to Green Bay or something. Right. Good point. All right, Ed Werder.
Philadelphia.
Right. Oh, brutal. January. Ed Werder on the You've done those games, haven't you, over the years, Ed?
I've covered a few. I have that time of year, yeah. So cold in Green Bay, our television cables have snapped.
Ed Werder on the Out of Bounds show. All right, I should ask a follow-up. I want to circle back on Shoddy and Dak. I can't go too deep in this because we got a few minutes, but I thought Garrett and Linehan did Dak an absolute disservice early in his career, and were so worried about him not running that they didn't use his legs like the Ravens have used Lamar's and Eagles, Jalen, and others. Not that Dak is Lamar or anything like that. But yeah. hell, he can still move at 32. It's not like he's 39 because he is moving really well. But here's where I'm going with this. You're right. This marriage and chemistry between Schottenheimer and Dak looks really good. And maybe it was a benefit for both, but definitely for Shoddy, Ed, that he got to watch what Mike McCarthy did well and didn't do well, and then he kind of formulated his plan. And this may end up being the best OC that Dak has had since he's been there. You agree? Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think that as I've watched the chemistry between the two, and the game plans and the offense that Shoddy has built. Shoddy had never called plays for Dak in Dallas until this year, and hadn't called plays in the NFL for 5 years. But he did when calling plays for the Jets in Seattle. He had seasons where those teams led the NFL in rushing. And to me, in this offseason, while initially Jerry and Steven wanted to bring McCarthy back, they didn't want to make the commitment contractually that McCarthy was insisting upon having. Ultimately, if you want to run the football, McCarthy's not your guy. And Shoddy is. And I think that's where he sold himself was, we need to have a more balanced offense. And, Jerry and Steven have only known, the highest level of success winning Super Bowls in the 90s when they had, a great runner,
True.
One of the best runners in football in Emmitt Smith. And they had a dominant offensive line, and that complemented what Troy Aikman could do in the passing game. And so that made a lot of sense. I think they really wanted to be able to get back to running the football in a complementary way. Did they expect Javonte Williams to lead the NFC in rushing like he is? No. But they preferred him over Rico Dowdle, who they'll play this week because, they just saw a guy who was a very physical runner who could catch the football, who, played well without the ball in terms of blitz pickup and so forth. So, the balance that they've created, I think, is really essential to what Dak needs at this point in his career. But give Jason Garrett a lot of credit. I mean, he launched Dak's career out of necessity when Tony Romo got hurt in the preseason, and Dak was a rookie. But they went 13-3 with Dak, and Garrett was forcefully on Dak's side to remain as a starter at a time when Jerry Jones wanted to, return Romo to the lineup. So Dak owes a lot to Jason Garrett. I think he'd tell you that. And, back in those years, you're right in terms of Dak was a great dual threat runner, quarterback. He scored a lot of touchdowns along with Ezekiel Elliott. They had the RPO game, going at a high level. It surprises me, quite honestly, that we've seen Dak run as much as he has and be as successful as he has, considering he's now 32. He's lost 2 of his last 5 seasons to season-ending leg injuries requiring surgery. But to watch Javonte Williams run 66 yards down the field at the end of the half against the Jets, and for Dak to be in a full-out sprint because he wants to get them lined up if Javonte doesn't score and spike the ball, to watch how hard Dak ran for 50 yards was quite amazing to me.
Yeah. I love that video that's out on Twitter now this week, seeing the shot from behind. That's yeah. All right. Well, they're an average team. If CD comes back, I think the offense, they're not going to be great every week, and Dak's not going to play out of his mind every week. Mahomes doesn't. But I think that's what it's going to take for them to win. So when he doesn't, they're not. But I think they're going to be fun to watch. All right, how about this? If Shoddy comes up short, knowing that Jerry and Steven didn't do any of them any favors, Shoddy or Dak or Eberflus or however you say his name, do you still believe that Shoddy can get another year if they at least get to like 8 wins?
I really don't think Brian Schottenheimer's job is going to be in jeopardy, regardless of what the Cowboys' record is.
Okay.
I think Jerry's looking at it right now like, this might be the best coach I've had in 20 years. I might have lucked into the right decision as to who my coach should be for whatever's left of Dak Prescott's Super Bowl window. Because offensively, they're playing at the highest level in the NFL, and the quarterback is too. They're averaging over 30 points a game. Only 4 teams are averaging 30 or more points. And all of those other teams have won twice as many games as Dallas because Dallas is held back by its defense.
Right.
But if Eberflus can build off last week and they can be somewhat competitive, and Dallas has done all this scoring, even though they have only had 1 short field touchdown off a turnover so far this season.
Wow.
They've gotten 3 takeaways, but only 1 was on the 50-yard on their side of the 50-yard line. So there's a lot of potential there offensively once they get to full health, get all their linemen back, get CeeDee Lamb, one of the most dynamic players in football, back. And then it's just a matter of, can Eberflus get this defense to be average? And then in the offseason, they got, 4 first-round picks the next 2 years to devote to defense.
All right, Ed Werder on the Out of Bounds show. Cowboys, Panthers, they're not good enough to let their guard down. I mean, at all. So they still got to go over there and get their mind right and win this game and score a bunch of points on offense. Ed, have a great weekend, my man. We appreciate you. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, Bo. Always good to talk football with you.
Ed Werder, recognized by the Pro Football Hall of Fame, 25 years ESPN, covered the Cowboys for right at 40. He joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Cowboys scoring at a ridiculous rate. Last week, 4 offensive linemen down, CeeDee Lamb down, another wide receiver down, and Dak and Williams and those 4 new offensive linemen, credit to them. And George Pickens, that was a nice throw and catch from Dak to Pickens, right? Down the left hash. Beautiful. Dak put it right there. Dude was all over Pickens. He still had to make a hell of a catch. And Ed mentioned Javonte Williams running 66 yards and Dak running. The video when they cut it out the next day, I was in Vegas and I was watching. I thought, dang, Dak still got some wheels. But we act like he's 48. These guys are world-class athletes, and the way, they're not training like Kenny the Snake Stabler trained in the offseason, which was no training. Well, I love drinking ice-cold Bud Light and smashing fried oysters at the Floribama, but that's not necessarily like world-class training in the offseason. It may be for Jackson and and for you listening, because I've been doing that the last 6 days on this road trip. Yeah, I've been training by eating steaks, drinking wine, Michelob Ultra, out all the time, da-da-da. Dak, man, these guys at 31, 32, 33, 34 now in the league, it's insane. Because now they work out. They may take 10 days off, right? They work out 355 days out of the year with one-on-one, unbelievable professional trainers. That was fun, though.
That was good.
And we were in the studio, which was nice. Yeah. You've done a good job running the show while I've been bouncing around everywhere. But, man, the Out of Bounds show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, brought to you by Superior Foundation. All right, French drains, driveways, foundation repairs, Superior Foundation. Call them right now, superior.ms.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 9 a.m. and this ain't okay show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at The Zone. WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out Warning.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
All set? Let's go.
The Zone.
Wow. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show.
He's like a bad drinking game. It just won't end.
That's Mark Stoops. Holy Mary Elzab. Goodness gracious. Mark Pope is going to have to win a lot of games in basketball to get over the disaster of Kentucky football. And it is one big hot mess. Y'all know anybody like your number one hot mess person that you know? You know, and a lot of times you love them. They're just a hot mess. And then a lot of times they drive you crazy and you have to maybe cut them out of your life. Hopefully not. But, I mean, that's what Kentucky wants to do to Mark Stoops. They want to cut the cord and cut him out of their life. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Hot garbage.
Ooh, that was mean. We're brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Bet 50, play 40, baby. The Golden Moon Casino, Vegas-style sportsbook. Bet $50 there. Play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $40. Bet 50, play 40 on the property of Pearl River Resort. Don't forget they've got Philip M. Steakhouse. Philip M. Steakhouse. And that's in the Silver Star. And then in the Golden Moon, they've got Mom and M's. And that's also where the sports book is. So they're connected from a walkway, as most of you know. But Mom and M's is more bar and grill, but really good Southern style food, kind of a craft beer, whiskey bar feel. And then Philip M's is open Tuesday through Saturday just for dinner. Wednesday and Thursday, they do the prime rib. We'll be back up there next week, but I was with those guys out in Vegas, and the prime rib is on Wednesday and Thursday night, and it's fantastic. So great bar. If you've got a group, couples or a group of guys, 8 to 10 people, 12, I mean, actually, it's 2 wine rooms. They can block it off. If it's a smaller group of 10 to 12 to 14, you can be on one side or the other. And then, but if you have a big party, you can do it in there. But the wine room is one of the coolest rooms in the state of Mississippi. So Philip M. Steakhouse, bone-in ribeye is excellent. And somebody asked me on the text line, Jackson, what my favorite meal was.
Overweight in
Vegas.
In Vegas, you want to go? Okay, because we need the guy strip meal. Or do y'all cook every meal?
No.
I was about to say, there's no way, right? No. Like the 20 years is very,
I don't think I ate a morsel of food while I was at the house. No, I didn't. I didn't even have a chip. There were chips there. That was it, though. So,
guy strip first.
Well, guy strip just. I mean, surfing deer on Friday night was good. But we got the table at Roos Chris's on Saturday because we had the TV in our room.
Ah, nice.
Okay? Yeah. We wanted the TV in our room to watch college football. I mean, obviously, watching the Mississippi State A&M game, the first half was good. The second half was painful. Right. But it's good that Fluff Bothwell is going to be back. But so that was, that was good. Vegas, I'd go SW Steakhouse in the win. Yeah. It was because we've got such good steakhouses here. I'm usually not blown away.
Right. It's tough.
Doesn't mean that I don't think they're good.
Sure.
Many people listening have been to SW Steakhouse in the Wynn. The lead casino host for the Wynn is friends with one of the guys we were with. We were able to get a really good table. I wasn't making plans, so I was just following whatever. These guys that I was with have been to Vegas 100 times.
That's what they do.
Right. Yeah. And some of the guys that would eat with us lived in Vegas.
Yeah.
They were this or that. SW Steakhouse was one of the best experiences I've had dining.
Whoa.
And the service is impeccable. The steak was fabulous. One of the guys, who thank God was paying for it, ordered the bone marrow as an appetizer. They light it, 2 big bones. They light it at the table. It's a really cool presentation. That was fine.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, we'll get into that in just a second. But it's caveman type food in a good way.
Okay, all right.
It's what I call Bam Bam.
I like that.
Fred Flintstone type food, but super high level.
Okay.
But yeah, that was good. But I'll be honest, I didn't know they were going to do this, but they picked Sushi Samba the next day for lunch. Blake and I had already been a couple of years ago after the NFL draft. I mean, not after, the next day. And it was exceptional. The sushi.
See, like, how do you pick?
Super high end, flying it in it's just, and let me tell you, Sushi Samba was, because of the conference being there in the Palazzo or whatever it's called, connected to the Venetian, Sushi Samba was amazing. I mean, amazing.
So how did you and Blake land there? Like,
I found it.
Okay, so I was about to say,
we did the show at Caesars. So I stayed up with Mike Leach till 3 a.m., which was not smart.
No.
After Charles Cross was drafted first round by the Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
Leach and some friends, I go over, meet them after we had dinner at Lavo, which is another top pick for me in Vegas. Once I go to bed at 3 a.m., this was 3 years ago. Finally, I got moving maybe 7 a.m. We weren't doing the show live. We were doing a podcast to recap the NFL draft. So I guess Blake and I fired off about 10 something in the morning. And it was, the struggle bus was still real at that time for me. And, but we had a great time.
Yeah.
Set up, did the show, recapped, all that. And then I think I just looked online or something.
Yeah, I was about
I
to say,
remember. And we just ended up at Sushi Samba. It was fabulous.
That's good. That's impressive. Because I don't know how you go about, like, if I didn't have a guide, essentially a guy that lived there, a guy that been there.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah,
there's 9,000.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that stuff's cheesy, crappy food. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to Nashville Hot Chicken or whatever the hell that place was right across from me when I walked out of the Cosmopolitan.
Is it a lot of that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of Bubba Gumps, whatever the hell it is. I mean, I'm not going to eat that garbage.
No.
But you know, SW was good. Sushi Samba was good. We went to STK. I had no idea that it was a combination of a nightclub, a cabaret, and a high-end steakhouse. I have never experienced that kind of business model in my life, where it's nightclub thumping while selling $100 steaks, while borderline a cabaret.
Oh, this place parties.
It parties. The bartenders party. They were funny. We sat at the bar.
Dang.
It's like watching them perform. It is the most bizarre. I don't need to do it every night. It is the most bizarre, wildest dining experience at an expensive restaurant I've ever had in my life. Back in a second. Weird. Not being in studio for a week and trying to get my bearings. Good morning. We are the Out of Bounds Show. We're brought to you by Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, B3, baby. Dogwood, Flowwood. Place is so cool, the way they built it out. And Smash Burgers and Blue Plates, B3, Dogwood, Flowwood for lunch today and dinner. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. We are the Out of Bounds Show. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. We welcome in Executive Director of Extra Table, Martha Allen, joining us on the Out of Bounds Show. Bourbon.
Hello.
Well, good morning, sunshine.
Yes, it is all sunshine. It's a beautiful day in the city of Jackson, and we are ready to raise some glasses and feed the hungry.
All right, so it's your Big Bourbon Festival presented by Extra Table down at the Mississippi Museum of Art to raise money for over 65 food pantries around the state, Martha?
66 food pantries. We spend $95,000 every single month on food, and we're the only non-government subsidized food bank that we know of anywhere, not just in Mississippi, anywhere. So the money raised tonight is critical to our bottom line, to getting food out the door. And it's not just any type of food. It's quality, nutritious food. Our food offers dignity and respect and hope for a better tomorrow.
And I love that too, because I go on those rants all the time about clean food. So I love that when Robert
St. John about that.
I know. When he shared the story like 10 years ago, and then we got connected with you. I love the fact that it's not gas station food, that it's actually good food with protein and so on. So Bourbon Festival presented by Extra Table tonight. And this is their 5th annual Bourbon Festival down at the Mississippi Museum of Art. Jamie Ferris, the Bourbon King, is part of this awesome deal. Martha Allen is the executive director. Extratable.org to get involved. Now, Martha, let's say people can't get there tonight, but they want to become a part of the Extra Table team, donating through their business, corporation, matching employee stuff, individual gifts at the end of the year. How do they do that?
Give me a call, shoot me an email, message me on Facebook, send a carrier pigeon. We want you to know more about Extra Table. It's easy to get involved with Extra Table. When you give to Extra Table, you're not paying my salary or keeping the lights on at our office. Your money goes directly to our monthly food purchasing. And that's really important to me as a person that gives to organizations and as the executive director. Our admin funds are raised completely separate. So we're kind of like the St. Judah feeding. And so that message really resonates with me, and I know it resonates with others. And so, there's a million different ways to get your teams involved all across the state to support Extra Table feeding those food insecure throughout the state.
Now, how many bourbons tonight? Like 120? What's going on?
We guarantee 125, and I must confess, I just haven't even counted behind the Bourbon King, Jamie Ferris. So I'll have to look at that list and update you post-event on exactly what went down tonight. But with a new venue, and we're completely sold out of VIP tickets, completely sold out of grand tasting. Like, it is sold out, and we're so honored by that. But we've got the ladies on stilts. We've got this entertainer that's like Frank Sinatra. We've got 800 handmade chocolate bonbons that pair with 4 different bourbons.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
Okay, that's cool. You've got cigars from Spring Street Cigars.
We sure do, man. They are ready. We've got Spring Street and Mary Ryan Brown, that's a comedian, coming. It's going to be, we try to turn it up for our guests, and we have the best partners that make this night possible. So,
all right, so Extra Table. All right, this is the bourbon. It's the 5th annual Bourbon Festival presented by Extra Table, which spends $95,000 a month, okay, supplying 66 food pantries around the state with good, healthy, clean food. All right, and that's amazing. If for some reason you can't go tonight, Martha Allen and her team would love for you to jump on board, and they can customize however you want to give, whether it's corporate or individual. Extratable.org out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Martha Allen, Robert St. John, And this bourbon festival, the 5th annual, is sold out. This is awesome. And it feeds people who need not only food, but good food with protein and all the nutrients that you need to get day to day. I love the model. This is awesome. It's going to be down at the Mississippi Museum of Art. And from cigars to live music to live painting by Mississippi artist Martha Allen mentioned, walkers and jugglers. This is and a bourbon inspired menu. I love that. It's going to be a big party tonight.
Delicious.
All right. Well, look, I'm excited for you and your team. Y'all have worked really, really. It's not easy to pull off an event like this, and for it already to be so, I'm not surprised because you and your board and everybody does a great job. But I'm glad that the VIP sold out. I'm glad that the general admission is sold out. We want to challenge our listeners to get in, for you to get involved here at the end of the year in the fourth quarter, and go to extratable.org. They do many other events throughout the year around the state. 66 food pantries, $95,000 a month. Martha Allen, great job to you and your team. I know it's going to be a big party at the Mississippi Museum of Art tonight.
It sure will be. We hope to see you both. Thank you so much for your help. And please, any listener that wants to get involved, we'd love to work with you.
I will see you later. Thanks, Martha.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Extratable.org. Extratable.org. How about that? $95,000 a month. And as Robert St. John told us years ago, they raised the admin, how they pay. And look, they run on I've been to their offices. It's about as big as our restroom over there. It is not, you don't ever want to walk into, some kind of charity office and have like plush lobby and, $125,000 worth of furniture and stuff like that. That is not how this crew rolls. And so the admin expenses are raised on the side. All the money goes to the 66 food pantries, $95,000 a month. Bourbon Festival benefiting Extra Table tonight, Mississippi Museum of Art. And the bourbon tasting starts at 6:30. The Bourbon King, Jamie Ferris from Lincoln Road Package Store, will be there. Super guy, and has one of the best businesses in the Southeast. Remember this, Jamie was selling more Four Roses. When Four Roses was with us 10 years, I don't remember the timeline, but obviously we're now with Elijah Craig, but we still love that group. When they were with us, Jamie Ferris was selling more Four Roses than wine and spirit stores in Atlanta.
Can't believe that.
So that should tell you when you don't mess around and you get after it and you have a hell of a business mind and you know your stuff. People will drive in from 4 states away to meet with Jamie at Lincoln Road in Hattiesburg to pick out barrel picks.
Dang.
Happens all the time. All the time. And look, he's done things on 30A. He's done things up in the Mississippi Delta here tonight. So he's the bourbon dude. And, of course, we've had him on the show. He's awesome. And he runs with all those dudes. They got a little baseball mafia down there. Jamie Ferris was a hell of a player, but you got Papelbon, Mahalam, Tatum. I met someone else last week at the Sanderson Farms. I was with Bo Bounds from Laurel, but he introduced me to somebody else. Oh my God, the guy room with Papelbon. I can't remember, but we hung out for a minute. Can you imagine the stories of living with Jonathan Papelbon in college? Holy Mary Olzap. Sign me up for that. Only at 21 years old, though. All right. That was fun. We're going to do another segment. I feel like we need to do 3 more hours just because we've been on the road a lot, but we are the Out of Bounds Show. 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. And, we're brought to you by Burgers Blues Barbecue for lunch and dinner in Dogwood Flowwood. B3 is open in Dogwood Flowwood. The restaurant is awesome. The way they laid it out and built it. B3, Burgers Blues Barbecue, Dogwood Flowwood, lunch, dinner. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by Kessler Prime and the Renaissance, KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. Steaks, bourbon, vino, good times, 6 private dining rooms. I love steak. I think I eat 5-6 times a week. Yeah. Steak and eggs. That's all you need. It is. We're ESPN 1059 The Zone. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. We're on YouTube right now. If you want to check out our YouTube channel, search Out of Bounds Sports. YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. We would love for you to go there. We're trying to hit a number between now and the end of the year. Just check it out. See if you like it. Or if you recommend anything. Let us know. But it'd be really cool for Jackson and I if you go there. If you want to hit the subscribe button, that's great. But would love for you to go to our YouTube channel and hit go to YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports, check it out, and hit the subscribe button. Hadn't been on there in a week, so we got to get that thing rolling again. But it's been doing really, really well. And I should have taken more video out in Vegas, but I did actually get about 3 minutes of Dan Mullen in his press conference when I went over to see Mullen at the UNLV football complex. Brand new $35 million complex that faces the Strip. Really, really nice. All SEC players in his locker room. I mean, just left and right. So he had an SEC crew that he hired. John Clark's there and others. John Clark was with him at MSU. In fact, I talked to John Clark when I was with Dan. And, John was his chief of staff. Now his chief of staff again. Yeah. So go to YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. We would really appreciate it. There is a running ton of video on there, even though we haven't running video in a week. But we do, we're starting to do about 80% of the show now on YouTube. And it's good, and we'll have to do some more things, trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do in studio here. But we're going to get that right. We got to get it cleaned up. It's an absolute running mess. But check out the set, the studio. YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. All right, giveaway today. Pair of Elijah Craig socks. Some Elijah Craig cigar matches.
Those socks are heat, by the way.
Those socks are awesome.
They're awesome.
You got to have a pair.
Yes. Those things are incredible.
I
love a good sock.
And I think maybe we should give away a couple of Whiskey 61 rocks glasses, which are really nice.
It's a juiced up giveaway.
And then a $25 gift certificate to Martin's in Livingston. So that's awesome.
That's juiced.
Now, it's how do you win? How do you enter? Out of Bounds roll call. I need 3 things from you. Are you listening on 105.9 The Zone? Are you streaming the show on the Out of Bounds radio app or thezone1059.com or on YouTube? Search Out of Bounds Sports. And then what is your game of the week and who wins? I had several Georgia-Auburn earlier. What's your game of the week? Let me go over them for you. As far as, ones that you're locked in on. Ole Miss hosting Washington State. They're a 32.5-point favorite. So, that's not in consideration. But Georgia at Auburn, hell of a line there. Could be a tight game. Bama at Mizzou, could be a tight game. Oklahoma, Texas. John Mateer listed as questionable. They had to put it in there on Wednesdays now that it is mandated that you give an injury update in college football now. We've been doing that in the NFL forever. Yeah. So John Mateer, the quarterback for Oklahoma, will be about 17 days removed from the hand surgery. And when you're young and a world-class athlete, would not surprise me whatsoever for him to play and actually play pretty well. But But Oklahoma, Texas on a neutral field, as you know. South Carolina at LSU. A little bit bigger spread than some of the games we're going over, the three that I just referenced. That's, kind of trying to hold there at -9.5 for LSU. Florida at A&M, tough, brutal stretch for both of those teams. But A&M has been able to play their last three games at home, including this one. So Florida goes on the road to play A&M. Two nasty defenses. Very, very physical, but have been playing physical games. Also, their offenses are a work in progress. They have talent. Lagway proved that he could play, played pretty damn well last weekend, 21-29. Couple of touchdowns. Marcel Reed's very sporadic, but Concepcion and Craver, as y'all know, can they got some other guys, but can hurt you when they actually. If they had a guy who could really throw it, oh my God, A&M. I mean, A&M is. If they had Nussmeier, and I know Nussmeier isn't healthy and he has no running game, but if they had Nussmeier, college football playoff. If they had Trinidad, college football playoff. If they had Ty Simpson, college football playoff. I think if they had a DJ Lagway that was playing the way he did last weekend,
they're going to go with Reed.
Marcel
can take them to the playoff.
I don't know if they can get all the way there.
I think they can at least get there.
Maybe.
They could backdoor their way.
But they are nasty and physical up front. And the two NFL corners, whew,
they're ferocious. That's dude.
And whatever that safety's name is, he's a boss. They got dudes. They are physical. Florida's physical on all three levels on defense. Could be one hell of a ball game is my point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move. Wendy's making clean nachos. We've been gone 5 weekends in a row.
Oh, yeah.
I've had fun. I'm going to be at the lake. I'm so glad I'm not traveling. I enjoy traveling, but I'm looking forward to the break, and it's going to be great. Hell, I don't even know where game day is, Jackson. Do you?
I'll find out.
Okay. Live in the Bank Plus studio, back to the giveaway. On the Out of Bounds roll call, I need to know, are you listening on radio, 105.9 The Zone, or streaming? Where are you listening from? What's your game of the week? What's your game of the week? And pick the winner.
Eugene.
Game day's in Oregon.
Yeah. From Oregon, Indiana.
Kurt Signetti.
If he comes up there and wins that ball game.
Guess what? Texas still sucks.
Wow. Yeah, if he's not well,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
Lanning, they're pretty nasty. Dante Moore can play. They've got line of scrimmage guys. I don't know what they've got in their team. So much of it has been embellished, but 25, 30.
Oh, it's high.
I'm not sure if Ohio State and Oregon really have 35 to 40, but 25 to 30 is still a running ton of money, and who knows?
I also didn't expect him to hang 63 on Illinois. I mean, they thumped Bielema. I'm not going to put it past
Bielema had beat Southern Cal.
He did.
A couple weeks ago.
Look, I'm not putting it past Signetti. I'm scared of that guy.
Kurt Signetti is a madman. Do we have, has it been edited? No, listen to it before you do that. I don't want to do that. But if we do have it, we've got plenty of time to get it. All right.
They're just the first loser.
Whoa. Bar2 taking shots at Texas. So if Mateer plays, if QB1 John Mateer plays and plays like, pretty well and doesn't turn the ball over, and let's say he's 80%, you have to believe Oklahoma wins the game. But Texas still has players. Kwiatkowski is a hell of a defensive coordinator. And he's kept them in games. They're physical on that side of the ball, too. It's still, whether it's John Mateer or whoever, I don't think it's going to be easy for Oklahoma by any stretch. Neutral game. I will say this. I know Texas has been soft for years. It looked like Sark has turned the corner with back-to-back college football playoff appearances. But this Art Sark thing, it could get out from under them sooner than later. But man, their back is against the wall. I think they're going to play. I think they're going to. I think Texas is going to bring it. I still like Oklahoma. I think if Mateer can play at all.
When you say gets out from under them, what does that kind of look like at that point?
Well, if they lose this weekend, then it could get out.
Oh, it's out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they move off of Arch.
I think.
Right?
Oh, of course they could.
Oh, man.
Then they play Kentucky, so it doesn't matter who they play. That may be a get-right game.
Sure.
Okay, at Kentucky. Kentucky's awful. Worst team in the league. Credit to Mississippi State. They've now jumped up several notches. Then they play MSU at MSU. If MSU can get healthy, they're going to have a shot to win that game. And then they play Vanderbilt at home. Of course, they out-recruit Vanderbilt by a million miles, but don't put it past Diego Pavia to get wild. Then they have to go to Georgia, Arkansas at home, and then they play A&M. So they got some more losses.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll end up in the Alamo Bowl or something that they don't care about. Oh, you remember how people have given me a hard time about San Antonio?
Yeah.
I don't remember how that happened, but Blake played it up
Yeah.
and people started pouring on me and
Sure.
that I hate, I don't hate San Antonio, but I've never been.
Right.
Well, it happened on the way yesterday, flying back from Las Vegas. The pilot got on, I guess he was giving us an update or something. And he said, he said, we'll be there and whatever. And by the way, if you're looking out the right side of the plane, we're flying over San Antonio. Well, I happen to be on the first row of the plane on the window side.
Nice.
So I just looked over. So now I can say, I assume I've flown over San Antonio before going to LA or Vegas, but I now can say that I have seen San Antonio.
There we go.
I want our listeners to know I checked the box.
That's a good box, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
That's a good site.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do over there.
You just
look at it.
they've got the river or whatever it is. I don't remember what it's called. It goes through the center of the city. Riverwalk. But yeah, I just wanted everybody to know that I flew, directly over San Antonio yesterday from Vegas to Houston.
Your obligations to San Antonio are done.
And I wouldn't have looked out, and the pilot said it, so I looked over and I went, "Oh, there's San Antonio." I may have even seen the Alamo. I don't know.
I don't know how you didn't.
Right.
So we're talking divine intervention.
RT says San Antonio is full of hotties.
That could be.
It's a cool place. I'm not surprised that there's beautiful women there.
South.
That does not surprise me at all.
Everywhere.
Right.
They-
Right.
Literally.
Be hot take.
No, I meant to do this.
Ooh, baby.
There you go.
Both.
There you go. Have you been to San Antonio?
No, I'm not going to San Antonio. I would have gone if if David Robinson and Tim Duncan were still playing, but no.
Oh, yeah.
That's different. But I'm
Manu
not going now.
Ginobili and Tony Parker?
Yeah, that would have been the time to go.
Yeah. Oh, man. Back in 2005 when they were just rolling, that Spurs team was filthy.
Man. What
Filthy.
Great coaching.
Ginobili, Parker, and Duncan. And heck, they had role players that people were envious. That would have loved on their. I know Robert Ory, but there were others. Boy, they were really well run for a long
If
time.
there was ever a team or
They were kind of like the
organization-
St. Louis Cardinals.
That's a good one.
In the NFL,
Ooh, tough.
I got to think that through for a
That's
second.
a tough one.
Yeah, kind of like the
Ravensy?
Chiefs.
Chiefsy?
Yeah, because the Chiefs have Mahomes, Chris Jones. Who would be the third during their run? Taking out Andy Reid.
Right.
I'm talking about players. Mahomes. Oh, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Kelsey.
kind of the trio there. We'll match up the trios. Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, Ginobili, Parker, Duncan. Yeah, that fits. Know who they are.
Yeah.
Excellent coach. Popovich eventually got drunk on power, but and and started lecturing everybody on other things. But an absolute, and Buford, R.C. Buford, the general manager that worked with that, because I read the book. I got to figure out the name of it, but it was fascinating on the Spurs and the way they're run and set up and all that stuff. I don't know.
Wasn't halftime, was it? Finishing well, game plan, beyond halftime.
I've got it, and I'm going to find it.
RC.
I got it. The Culture Code. By Daniel Cole. Yeah. Basically each chapter focuses on a business or sports team or something like that. It's called the Culture Code. In there, he talks San Antonio Spurs and Buford and Popovich, and it's pretty incredible.
Are they the most fundamentally sound organization?
They were
of all
for a
time?
long time,
right?
Without a question. They were the most fundamentally sound, well-run organization.
Period.
For a window of 7 or 8 years,
At least, right?
9-10 in the NBA. The Warriors did it too.
All sports.
They were incredible with their trio.
Yeah.
When you look at Thompson, Curry, and Draymond. So, and I know Durant came in and out, but yeah, that's impressive, man. When you in pro sports, as difficult as it is to win, ask the Yankees last night, losing to the Blue Jays and a guy who raked a hit who had been in the minor league system for 10 years, 31 years old, finally gets called up, then gets injured, then didn't get back up for a year, then is up and just unbelievable base hit in crunch time. That was absolute insanity. And the Blue Jays manager looks like he's 26 years old, but I kind of like his mojo. All right, so that was enough Spurs. Maybe too much. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We are live in the Bank Plus studio. We're giving away a pair of socks, Elijah Craig socks, a couple of whiskey glasses, $25 gift certificate to Martin's in Livingston, and some cigar matches from Elijah Craig. And you know how to do it on the Out of Bounds roll call on the text line. Tell us, are you listening on 105.9 The Zone ESPN? Are you streaming the show on the Out of Bounds radio app or thezone1059.com? Where are you listening from? What town are you listening from? And then what is your game of the week, and pick the winner. And we went over some of those. I cannot wait for Bama at Missouri and Georgia at Auburn and Oklahoma and Texas, and maybe even Florida and A&M may surprise us. In fact, I would not be surprised if that game is fireworks and a ton of fun to watch. Now, maybe 20-17, which is fine with me. Because 2 weeks ago, if you remember, A&M won 16-10 over Auburn in what was an absolute slugfest on the defensive side of the football. This past weekend in the second half, they pulled away from Mississippi State because, MSU just couldn't get anything going on offense. So they left their defense out to just be exhausted and so on. They were tired and on the field.
What was the number Tom gave us? They're 1-24 in their last 2 games of third downs.
Yeah. So Auburn and Mississippi State were abysmal on third down, but also give credit to Mike Elko and that and Texas A&M for the way that they've recruited and added pieces in the portal. Again, 2 NFL corners, an edge that will get your you-know-what, and that safety back there is and he can do it all. He's just one of those freaky athletes that all of a sudden you look up and you're like, is he an edge rusher or is he a safety? They do a bunch of fun things there. So they're good. Hey, but Florida's got Florida's going to give Marcel Reed all he wants too. So remember this weekend. Florida's defense, I think, now Concepcion and Craver, wow. But Florida's fronts, they got dudes. I think they're going to give Marcel Reed a tough time. And I think A&M's going to give DJ Lagway a tough time. So maybe don't turn the ball over, right?
Right.
If it's not there, don't push it. Live to fight for another play or possession, because this bad boy may be 17-13.
Yeah.
17-14, 20-14, and either team within striking distance of winning as the day unfolds. As far as that game, so I think we hit. Bama doesn't need to sleepwalk. I think they're in for a damn fist fight in Mizzou. Georgia at Auburn. That's been so many. There was a time, y'all know this, in the 2000s. There were some times where that was the best. I don't want to say rock, but it was the best game.
Yeah.
Because of all the close games that they had, whether it was Rick Tuberville, Rick Chiswick, Kirby Malzahn. That game, we have had some epic Georgia-Auburn battles. Y'all know that Auburn's only an hour and a half from Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Athens isn't but an hour. So that and Auburn's going to bring it, even though they may not have been winning quite at the level that they want to win. That place will be 100,000 people, and it will be pandemonium. So that's not going to be an easy deal for Gunnar Stockton and the Georgia and Mike Bobo, the offensive coordinator for Georgia. Also, we'll see how much Gunnar uses his wills and how much Jackson Arnold. He's going to have to run.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't know offense well enough, so I don't know what Freeze. He's a smart guy on the offensive side of the football. I don't know what he can come up with to make Jackson just a little bit better. Sometimes it's just less than baby steps better in the pocket, maybe on some little real easy routes for Arnold to hook up and get some confidence. I know a lot of you have told me on the text line y'all want to see more of that from Jeff Levy and Blake Shapen starting next week, and you want to give him an opportunity to just get the ball out quick and just move them around. I get Levy wanting to create explosive plays and stuff, but sometimes probably Blake just needs to kind of dump it here and there and a little bit more short and intermediate to, especially with Fluff gone for a few weeks, maybe just to take some pressure off of Blake and Booth and just dump it around and get him real. Even if you're only getting 3 or 4 yards, you're just moving the sticks a little bit, but you're not taking all those negative plays that Shapen's been taking. In fact, I think you need to look at that this weekend is like how many negative plays will Lagway take at Florida or Marcel Reed take at A&M, and that could be the difference in the game. And then, Ty Simpson and Prabula, Missouri's Penn State transfer at Missouri, can't take negative plays. Same with Gunnar Stockton and Jackson Arnold with Georgia and Auburn. I mean, it's just tough, man. You go from 2nd and 3 to 3rd and 9.
Ugh.
And we're in a defensive-driven league this year. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Brought to you by Taste Italian Restaurant in the Renaissance. And yes, they have 4 or 5 different selections of Elijah Craig bourbon. Get that meatball appetizer. Thank me later. Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance. Open lunch and dinner. It is fabulous.